guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. Recently I posted a video on everything that I'm growing in my new produce gardens. Last year's gardens didn't really work out because I didn't know what I was doing. This year, learning from those mistakes, we're going to be upkeeping and maintaining these gardens more. This includes taking care of the weeds better, taking care of the insects and pests that attack all of the produce, and also because I have a bunch of new trellises, we're going to be fixing those and maintaining those because my tomato trellis has twine on it and the elements have gotten to the twine, so it has broken off. This has caused the tomato plants to kind of fall over, so we're going to go out there with some more twine, fix up that trellis, fix up the rest of the trellises, weed the gardens, take care of the pests, and just maintain the gardens better this year, learning from last year's mistakes. I will meet you out in the gardens. These are the old gardens. This is the old garden section. I did redo these and made them into ground gardens, but there is cardboard underneath all of that dirt. They are growing pretty nicely, a lot better than last year. This is my squash garden. We're also going to be taking all of these ugly plants off because they're not helping the plants grow. These have probably been attacked by bugs. We don't want that in there. I do see that we do have some bugs on here that we don't want. They have also laid eggs. We're going to be getting those off of there. This is my pumpkin garden. This is my watermelon garden, and honestly they're doing a lot better than last year. I have been upkeeping these as much as I can, and it's time for another upkeep. This is my new garden section. I basically expanded it and added raised gardens instead of the ground gardens. Learning from last year's mistakes, there's cardboard under all of these as well so that less weeds grow up. But there are still weeds that are growing in these gardens because they have probably broken through the cardboard. The cardboard has probably composted and there's less weeds, but we still need to maintain them. There are also still bugs and we've got to get rid of those too. I brought out some stuff to help us in this video. I've got diatomaceous earth to help dust the plants to keep the bugs off of them. We've got some zip ties in case we need to put this up some more. And I've got the clippers to take off all the bad leaves. We are going to start with this tomato trellis because the twine is just breaking. We want to fix that. This has basically come loose from the bottom. That whole bottom line right there holds the twine that goes all the way to the top, and they're just breaking and it's not staying there, so all of the plants are falling over. It does not help that hornworms have gotten to a lot of the tomatoes. I really don't know how to stop hornworms. If you guys have any suggestions on how to stop those, please drop them in the comments below. Okay, I'm going to use the twine. I'm probably going to double it or triple it since I didn't do that before. It seemed weaker when it was only one strand. Maybe it'll be stronger with more. We put this new triple thing of string from the top to the bottom, and now I'm going to take off all of the clips that are on the plant that fell, and we're going to reattach it to this new string. Make it stand up straight instead of falling to the ground because the string broke. Looks a little bit better. We did get it standing upright again, and I did see a hornworm on here right there. Either I can give that to my chickens or I could leave it alone and let the wasps lay their eggs on the hornworms and the wasps take care of other pests around the garden. I don't know if it's worth sacrificing my tomatoes, which I have not had one good tomato this year because of the hornworm. I say just kill them, but I'm learning more about the beneficial insects that help a garden. I'm still struggling with it, so I don't know what to do about the hornworms. And I didn't do this enough last year just because I was ignorant about the fact of what and how I should be maintaining a garden. I kind of just left it, let all the weeds grow, let everything grow on them. But I am learning a lot this year, so that is why we are doing this. So this is basically what I'm taking off, all of these dead leaves. They don't need to be on there. Because these hornworms basically kill the plant, eat the tomatoes, all of these dead leaves they're sucking up the nutrients that the water wants to give the plant. Here's a tomato that one of the hornworms got. That is just not edible, so we have to throw it away. And most of them look like that because I just can't get to them fast enough before they start eating all of them. Like this one also is just eating. Well, this one looks fairly decent. It's got a couple of things in it. You just literally eat the whole thing, and they can eat so much at the same time. So we don't really want the hornworms in here. Because I can't get a decent tomato. I'm not sure if that's a hornworm, but it's small, and it definitely is in the tomato eating it. More damage on more tomatoes. They're just on almost every single tomato you see. There is just all this damage from them eating them. Our tomato garden is fully maintenanced and all the weeds are out of there. I took off all the bad tomatoes and I fixed all the twine. I did put all of the tomatoes on the outside of this fence. There are animals that live in those trees, and if they want to come over here and eat those, they can have those before getting into the gardens. I also was able to pick some tomatoes that if I just cut off the bad part, the rest of it's okay, which I don't think is a bad thing. I would totally eat around all that bad parts. Maybe not this one, but we will see when we cut it open. Some of it's good. Another thing I want to mention is that all of the dead leaves that I took off can go right back into the garden. It's good nutrients for the garden, as I'm learning. You can either put it in a compost pile or right back in your gardens. Moving on to the lettuce garden, we've got some lettuce growing over here. Pretty much this has been weeded. There's a couple weeds in there. And again, these holes that animals have already burrowed in has helped me be able to stick my hands in here and weed without having to take this cover off. And it's not like any lettuce is growing on this side anyway. I think it basically all died. I just didn't take. That's probably even a weed, but looks pretty. I'm gonna keep it in there. This is an extra tomato plant that I had. I put it over here in one of these grow bags, and as you can see, the hornworms have gotten to these two. I have not seen any hornworms on here yet, but that doesn't mean they're not on here. They do blend in well with the color of the tomato leaves themselves, but I am not seeing any. I wonder where they are, but we are going to clean this one up by taking off looks pretty good. Now I want to move over to this garden. This is the zucchini garden, and it looks like only 2 or 3 of them have taken. I planted about 7 in here. I do have a zucchini growing under here, but I have also seen eggs laid on some of these. There's another one. See, this is so big that it starts to break. All of these start to break. And this plant over here, which is also zucchini, has started to die. And I think that's because it was taken over by the insects. I don't really know if I should try to save it. I don't know. Its root is here, but then all of these, see, all of these are dead. So you kind of want those off of there. And this is what happened to my last year's gardens, was bugs attacked the zucchini. They're squash bugs. And this is what they do to the leaves. They kind of just kill them, eat them, plant their eggs in them. That one does not look healthy at all. This corn garden died. I'm probably gonna take all that out of there since nothing is growing. This is my garlic garden, and I have recently tried pulling one of the pieces of growing garlic up, and it was as big as it was when I planted it, so it didn't take or something. These weeds we're going to take out of there, but we can leave the plant matter in there. See something? So this is the thing of garlic. And it's just not growing. It's just not growing too much. I used to have 35 plants in here, and I don't know what has gotten in here, but most of them are not in here anymore. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See the ends of these? They're just not there anymore. So if anybody has any suggestions about how to grow garlic, please drop them in the comments below, because this is my first year trying to do it. It's just not working. This is my cucumber garden, and looks like we have a nice cucumber right there. I'm gonna harvest that right now so that no bugs can get to it. And this garden had about 7 or 8 cucumber plants. Most of them died because of the squash bugs. I learned that if you plant more right away after you take out all the dead stuff, they're just going to keep growing. So I did plant about 6 or 7 more seeds, and hopefully we'll have some more cucumbers in a month or 2. This is a dead marigold, so we're going to put that with the marigolds that I've been taking out. These 2 marigolds used to be taken over by ants, but they look like they're growing back, which is a good thing. Now this is my pepper garden. I do have 2 tomatoes growing in there. I don't know how that happened. And we do have a green pepper growing right there, a little baby growing right there, and another one growing right there. I did not think these were going to take. Oops. I'm gonna get this big old weed out of there. It's big. guess I could plant more peppers, but to me they take way too long. These were all peppers that I grew inside, and they're still not doing as well as all the rest of the plants are doing, so I don't know what's going on with those. This is my bean garden. They have also all died. The trellis did well as they started growing up. There are a couple beans growing right here, but that's about it. The rest I have pulled, so we're probably gonna skip this garden. It's just marigolds in this garden. This one is a second tomato garden. I don't have a trellis for them, so they are trying to grow up the basil plants. I do have like a little support in there, but it's just not enough. And it almost looks like the hornworms have gotten to these also. These tomato plants, I could probably put a stick up. I'm gonna go find one and we're gonna do that now. Okay, we are back in my house for a minute. These are the other tomatoes that I have pulled. Some of them are probably usable if I cut the bad off of them, but we're gonna put these in here too to keep them fresher, and also put this in the fridge. I do see some squash bugs hiding. Oh, he's trying to hide behind that. He's trying to hide, I can see him. But we're gonna be taking care of that. Let me finish getting all this dead stuff off, and we're gonna dust all these leaves with diatomaceous earth. They've even laid eggs on some of these leaves, which is why they are all starting to die. But we don't want that because we want them to look like this, not so much like this. It's looking much better already. All that dead dry stuff is out of there. It's leaving the stems and the plants looking a little bare, but hopefully that stuff will grow back. We've taken a bunch off already. Okay, I'm on the other side. We've got all of that to take out, all of that to take out. Ooh, look at that. That's exactly what I'm trying to prevent. Those are squash bugs, and these are their eggs. I did notice some babies on the other side, so some have hatched already, and then they start to basically attack these plants. There's another one. Pulling some weeds while I'm at it. Now, one of the things I don't understand is the fact that I planted marigolds in all of my gardens and I still have problems with pests. So it seems as if it doesn't work. Maybe I don't plant marigolds next year, or maybe I do something in addition to planting marigolds. I don't know. Now that this side is cleaned up, I'm going to dust the leaves with diatomaceous earth. I might even pinpoint where I see them at because they are just ruthless. And he's hiding from me every time I see him. Now, unfortunately, the diatomaceous earth makes these plants look really ugly, but when it rains, it'll all wash off. Before it rains, though, hopefully some of these squash bugs will walk over it and it'll do its thing, bring it back to any nest it has or any of the other squash bugs, and they die. They can't take it. They affect pumpkins. This is my pumpkin garden. They'll attack the pumpkins, zucchinis. See, they've already made eggs on there. squash, as well as watermelon. Those are the ones that I know that the squash bugs like to get. That was maintaining and upkeeping my gardens. I do this every couple weeks, or at least when I see the things that are happening, like the bugs, the eggs on the leaves, the dead stuff, the weeds inside the gardens. I am just trying to keep up with my gardens this year much more than I did last year, and I feel that because I'm doing this, it's actually giving me better harvests of all the fruits and vegetables. I think I'm going to continue doing this next year. I'm going to do all the same things. I even have some winter things that I'm going to be doing to prep the gardens for next year. We're just going to keep maintaining them throughout the year until the growing season is over, and then prep them for next year, and we'll be good to go. If you guys like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button below and click the notifications bell so you can receive a notification every time I post a new video, which is every Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Last year my gardens didn't really work out. Recently I posted a video about all of the produce that has been... Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my video. Learning from last year's gardens, we're going to... Learning from last year's mistakes, Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. Made them a little bit better, and last year, why can't I do this? Recently, I posted a video on everything that I am growing in my new produce gardens. I knew there was a hair there. Recently, I posted a video on everything that I was growing in my produce gardens. Honestly, I didn't know what I was doing, so they were overcome with weeds and bugs. I gotta sneeze. Phew. Oh, so we're going to maintenance the garden more and upkeep it. On everything that I was growing in my new... Blah.
Yeah, I see you.